it's Adler from FM 1021 backstage at Lollapalooza with Jon from Portugal The Man. I got to talk to you via Zoom a couple weeks ago, and now we're face to face.
We did this. This is like a really happy reunion.
It is. It's fun. On that point, how's your daughter? How's Frances?
Frances is good, man. She's just chilling. She came out on stage with us for some of these shows. Hyped up the crowd. She is so good.
Yeah.
And just
A lightning
Are
rod?
y'all ready for Portugal the Man? Let me see your rock hands. And they're just like, thank you. Yeah, she's great,
Who
man.
knew? That's all you need. Like that's all it takes.
I know, two introverts have this extremely extroverted child.
It's like magnets. They just
Yeah.
reverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of live shows, I think this was last week. You guys were in Philly, and I saw a clip. Unfortunately, it was like a fan clip, so like it was shaky, and it was like everybody's like, ah! Charlie Day comes out, and you guys do Day Man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
This is how we roll, man.
How was that formulated? How was that an impromptu, or is that very planned?
Yo, Charlie, that whole crew, man, like, it's really fun when you're around, like, really, really good writers and comedians. They are so good at exaggerating their personal characters.
Yeah.
Like, they are exactly, I shouldn't say that they are exactly like, they're always
He's
sunny.
not huffing paint.
He's not huffing paint. But having your friends write for you is
Yeah.
so fun. Like, if I was writing something for Zach, I know exactly who he is and can make that funny or ridiculous or whatever. That's how those dudes are. They're just like a really cool family.
Well, and to that end, I mean, this has been probably more than 10 years, but Ben Stiller and you guys have been tight.
Ben Stiller plays on the new record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw there's 3 tracks where he's supposed to play drums.
Yeah, he plays percussion. So he came in. We rented all this percussion. He was in LA. I was like, yo, dude, why don't you come by the studio? Let's go jam. And he came in, dude. He is a sick drummer.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd never heard until I read about it that he was on the album.
Yeah, he's comes from like punk bands and stuff.
Like for years, he's like a Fred Armisen
Yeah.
kind of thing?
He is a great drummer.
Really?
Really sick player. He came in, he played all this percussion, and I was just like, we weren't fully wrapped on the album, so I just grabbed pieces of it and was like, pasting it into places and playing it through speakers and like little tiny amplifiers and stuff. It was super fun going through it all.
Was he like just standing up doing it, or was it sit down with a kid?
Yeah, he was just doing percussion. So it was like,
Really?
yeah, there's like chimes, there's shakers, there's bongos and things. Like, yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff.
Now I'm trying to think back to like Ben Stiller's show years ago was incredible. If you've never paused this, go watch Ben Stiller's show, the whole series, and then come back. But he's, yeah. But I'm trying to think of like movies that he's been in that he actually played instruments in.
Yeah, dude,
It's just a hidden gift.
I think he's one of the greatest directors, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a great, not just comedic director. I love his work, his eye. Yeah, he's an incredible talent.
Not any lesser known, but everybody knows who he is and his work. But we talked about it before, that Paul Williams pops up on the last track of the album, and we talked about it a little bit. I can't remember if I referenced Tom Waits, but he always has a cool voice.
He has the coolest voice.
But he's a genius, and I don't throw around genius. Like, he's written everything for like 60 years.
Yeah, he is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Absolutely one of the most prolific people I've ever known. Just talking to him, like, he's one of those people that I'm happy to know him. I'm happy to be friends with him. I'm happy to be able to talk to him about his drive over to wherever we're meeting today, because the way he speaks, he's so poetic. Everything he says is a lyric. And I'll tell you something about the end of the album when Paul pops up in the album. He was just talking to me.
I was going to say, the line is great.
Dude, he was talking to me. So the song's called Anxiety. We're writing together. We're working on lyrics. And he just turns to me and he goes, everybody's scared. And he starts saying, like, just breathe. There is always another breath. This anxiety that we're all feeling, we all feel it. It's like this forest fire coming over the mountain. And before you see that horrible forest fire, you see that massive cloud of smoke. He's talking to me about anxiety. And it was just so fitting. I was sitting there with him, much like you are, holding the mic, and we're just writing. And the whole time I'm just going, this is so heavy. I want to cry right now. And he was just speaking to me. And what he was saying was, don't let it consume you.
Yeah.
You know?
The analogy is perfect. I mean, because even if you've never been in a forest fire, you understand that feeling of genuine fear, and you're maybe going to lose your life, and then seeing some sort of salvation of any type is really interesting. But wording it like that, again, going back to Charlie and being a great writer, it's funny how the kind of the bridge between music and writing is kind of effortless if you get the right people together.
Yeah, so that's something I've always loved. This is why I play in a band. This is why I love collaboration. And I know it's taboo with bands for whatever reason. Bands are like, I write this. This is my song. Whatever it is, dude, get all that out of your head. Like, we all started with 3 chords and a story. Give me the 3 chords, and I'm gonna tell my story over that melody, and I'm gonna interpolate it and make it mine. We've always been borrowing from each other. We're always borrowing. We're always sharing. That's what art is. That's how it progresses. I take a little bit of what you do and I add my little piece to that story. It seems insignificant at the moment, but it's about it growing into being hip hop, and it's growing into being like these future movements of hardcore. Like, oh, it's a little bit different than when I saw it. Seeing hardcore today, it's really interesting seeing bands like Turnstile come around and be like, wow, you're taking so many of these elements and you're doing this thing that is different and feels fresh and feels new, while just barely twisting it.
Yeah.
And that's what it should all be.
Even the use of Black Thought when you had jumping into that song is that's such a nice addition to that song, and I don't know how much what the collaboration was there. But.
Yeah, well, we've known Black Thought for a long time. He was he's one of those people that just kind of like, when you play these late night shows, nobody sticks around. They're like, I did my 2 hours of work today, like, I'm out. And we got done, we played Fallon the first time, and we come back and Black Thought's like, yo, the B-boys, like, we brought B-boys, because like, we're Alaskan kids, and I loved seeing like culture and what's happening in all these different places, and just how we're all connected through music. I love that. So B-boy culture was really special to me. Graffiti writers, really special to me. Like, it was this thing that's different than what I'm seeing in Alaska. And he popped in and mentioned it and was like, I've never seen an indie band do that. And we just became friends from that point. And I love the way he writes is very stream of consciousness, streams of thought, I guess, for Black Thought.
Yeah.
He thinks about things in such a deep way. I told him what the song was about, and that's kind of all you need to do with him. He's an incredible writer, incredibly prolific. I watched him once do one of the craziest things I've ever seen in the studio ever, which was he flew in. So we play on his album with Sean Kane. So Sean C. We've been working with Sean C. for a few days, just putting together tracks for Black Thought. He comes in on a red eye, and he hasn't slept. You can tell he's a little bit tired. He's texting the whole time we're playing songs. He's like, play the next one, play the next one, play the next one. Like 30 minutes goes by, and I'm just like crushed, because I'm like, oh man, we didn't really make the cut, did we?
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, we can write more music. No, keep playing. Like, then he goes, is the mic on? Like, where is it? Oh, it's right over here. Sets down his phone, goes in, start to finish. Whole track. Goes, hey, around 2:30 something, I said, the Authority is historically bankrupt. Can you punch me in right there? Takes that to the end of the song. Picks out another spot with the time code and to the end of the song. And it's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. He wasn't texting, he was writing lyrics into his phone
As he was going.
and committing to memory.
So, like, it was non-linear. It was linear, but he was able to edit in his head.
Yeah, and he was listening to where he's at in the song, how many bars in he is.
That takes
That's
something.
about this many minutes. Like, yeah,
Oh my god, I gotta
crazy.
go back and listen to that. Man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You guys have a show to do. Thank you so much again for talking to me, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, so good
I
seeing
love
you.
talking to you.